Hello, my name is Kelly Jennings Robinson, and I work with Opportunity International. Today, I have the pleasure of talking to our partner and our colleague, Mr. Kwaku Acheampong, who is the head of digital financial services at Sinapi Aba Savings and Loan in Kumasi, Ghana. Today, Kwaku is going to be talking about a program that we're running in Ghana, a pilot specifically, and we're going to be focusing on closing the digital gender gap. So we're going to specifically be looking at how Sinapi Aba savings and loans in Ghana are increasing women's use of mobile banking services. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Kwaku to tell us a little bit more about the pilot. So Kwaku, can you start off by telling the listeners and our audience what the problem was that we were trying to solve through this specific pilot? Can you give us an introduction?
Okay, so thank you very much, Jenny. So Sinapi Aba in 2019 launched our first digital financial services product named Sinapi Mobile. So over the period of time, we did realize that uptake was increasing. Female uptake was also increasing. But however, we did also see that there was a little bit of a digital gender gap in terms of male usage as against female usage. Overall, in our business at Sinapi, we have a 75% of our clientele base being women. However, by 2021, that is after operating in about 2 years with the digital financial services product, realized that only 39% women were using the service. So it did really draw our attention to the fact that there is a gender gap, which seriously had to be addressed. Reason being that there was a key purpose why we rolled out digital financial services to increase outreach specifically to the vulnerable populations, especially the marginalized like women. So it became a worry for us to try to do something about how we can actually make very good use of the digital financial service by engaging a lot more women to use the service.
And to that point, could you tell us about some of the barriers that women face, and in particular, what barriers your female clients face in terms of access to banking and financial services?
Thank you again. Yes, we do know there are clear barriers to women, especially. In fact, the GSMA report of 2022 clearly shows that in low and middle income countries, women are 7% less likely than men to own a mobile phone, and then 16% less likely to use a mobile internet. This is very true, especially in our case here in Ghana, where there are inhibiting social and other cultural barriers that women do face. For instance, um, land ownership is mainly male dominated. In fact, in some areas in Ghana, females do not own land. And that goes to say that females find it very difficult to own property, especially up north in Ghana. We do know clearly that within the banking space, affordability is key. There are key barriers that women face in order to gain access to education. This is a clear case that we do find in many areas in Ghana. For that matter, financial literacy is also a key barrier. Most women do not have access to the needed financial information for them to bank and for them to live a successful business and economic life. That goes to the extent of also digital literacy. Digital literacy has also been a key inhibiting factor. Security and safety issues are also very key barriers that women do have a challenge with. I must say that the whole idea of technology in most parts of Ghana, you do find that most women are lagging behind, as I stated earlier, because they don't own a lot of property. They have less control over ownership of laptops, ownership of computers, ownership of mobile phones, and as such, their development or their usage of such tools, it becomes a challenge. And these all come together to form key barriers that more or less halt or more or less challenge the growth of women in the society, and more to the point here with digital inclusion.
Thank you. That's really interesting, and we're going to see a video later on in this presentation which illustrates some of the barriers in the day-to-day lives of some of Sinapi Aba's clients. So moving on, we've talked about some of the challenges that clients face, women specifically. I'd like to take this opportunity now for you to give us an overview, if possible, of the pilot itself and what actions and activities Sinapi Aba took to, address these barriers and help women in the area overcome these. So back over to you.
Yes, so within the pilot, there were very key changes that we sought to actually do, both institutionally and also at the customer level. One of the key things that we did touch on was to actually carry out what we call a customer insight study. What we sought to do with that was we really wanted to understand what are these barriers that we are talking about to digital financial services. What could be the enablers of clients to get access to digital financial services? So this customer insight study that we did really did help shape the rest of the program. So to the programs specifically, I would say there were three key project activity streams. The first was about accessibility. So how can we really access digital financial services? Because from the study, we realized that yes, women were not gaining much access to this digital financial service. That is how come we were not experiencing the high numbers in the usage. So the program looked at how we can brand or how we can redefine marketing that will really target the women population. So we looked at quite a number of market campaigns that we did use within the project period, such that we can really target and attract women to use digital financial services. Other key things that we also did sought to do was key client outreach and education campaigns, because we saw that there was a bridge and there was a gap in terms of client or women clients knowledge on digital financial services. That's why the more reason why they were not using the services. So we also looked at several education campaigns. A key component of the project was staff training, because we saw that if we can reach these women clients that we are talking about, it was very important for us to first train the staff who are more or less the liaisons or the key contact persons to these customers. So we developed new materials for the staff first to help train the staff and make them aware that this gender gap does really exist, and they have to make quite very conscious steps in order to bridge this gap. So there were new materials that staff were trained on, and these staff also went ahead to use these materials to go ahead and train the women. Still on how we improved accessibility, we also launched an IVR campaign. So this was more or less a message broadcast which helped to send out key messages to the phones of these women. And there was an opportunity for us to send these messages in the local dialect, such that the women can really understand what message we were trying to send out to them. And they were receiving these messages directly on their phones, which prompted them to act and use digital financial services. The other element of the project was under the customer demand project stream that sought to really review the institution's way of actually rolling out digital financial services, including how we actually review our system and the configurations. Basically, some of the things that we did do under this particular broad topic was to make sure that the reporting that we are receiving from the system at the end of the day is gender disaggregated, such that it tells us usage based on what the females and male breakdown. And again, it was able to give us branch specific data such that we can actually address the gender gap, not only on the male female breakdown, but also at the local branch level, such that we can ask individual branches to actually make steps to improve the gender gap situations in their branches. Other key project activity um, on these three mainstreams that I talked about was what we termed quality project activities, mainly about improving or enhancing the customer experience. Some of the key things that we touched on under this broad topic was looking specifically at the call center. We realized that people could get stuck, specifically women could get stuck in their engagement on a digital platform. So, how was our call center, which was already in place, equipped to actually support women remotely? Because the essence of digital was to make sure that women could actually perform transactions without coming to the banking hall. However, when they get stuck, we had to be able to provide a certain number where they can actually reach out and they can get immediate support. There was a lot of review and restructuring of our call center to ensure that we are able to get women the needed support. Another key thing that I want to touch on was that we also did what we call a mobile banker incentive plan. Sinapi Aba has one of our famous products being the Susu product, which is able to mobilize a lot of savings from female customers. So we looked at just towing the line of Susu by incentivizing the Susu or the mobile bankers. The mobile bankers here are the staff that go around to collect Susu from women on a daily basis. So we sought to incentivize these mobile bankers such that they will be more or less tools of change for us, meaning that as they go around collecting their daily Susu, they would also be doing a lot of education, and they will also be changing a lot of these women from being or changing them to become digital clients. So the third project activity stream I would like to mention is quality project activities. Um, some of the key activities that we did under these quality project activities was one, how we can review the call center. Sinapi Aba already had a call center in place which supports clients when they get stuck on the digital journey. It is very important to provide a call center for customers when you are offering digital financial services, especially women. It is important that they are able to have a number where they can call in remotely to gain access when they have challenges with their digital platform. So we did a lot of restructuring to ensure that the call center is up to task and providing the needed services for our women customers. Another activity under this broad topic was how we also incentivized mobile bankers to be in a position to convert customers to become regular digital clients. Sinapi has a very well known product called the Susu, where we have mobile bankers. These are young women who go around and collect savings from mostly women to come and deposit in their accounts. So we sought to use the same channel, this time rather using the mobile bankers as agents of change, where they go around and train the women whom they would ideally go and collect their savings to now be able to use digital financial services to perform the same transactions. So we did incentivize these mobile bankers such that they would go and go and teach these women and then be able to convert them to become digital clients now by performing the transactions on their own. So this has been very, very effective, and it is really helping to increase the usage numbers. Another key thing that I would like to talk about, probably the last activity, was a leadership program that was also done for some key female staff. We called it a career pathway leadership program. And this was a very conscious effort at raising female leaders. We do believe that it is very, very important to have female leaders who at Sinapi who would have the needs of the female clients at heart, especially when we are developing digital products that will serve these women. We definitely will need some female leaders in there. So these were some of the activities that we did actually do under the project. And over the past couple of months, these have been very, very helpful on the project.
I understand that this project is very much at the pilot phase. In terms of results and impact that you've seen kind of over the few months of the project, can you give us some insight on what the results have been so far?
Yes, thank you very much again, Jenny. So over the past period, the project has begun to see some very encouraging results. So in the last 3 months, for instance, we've seen a reduction of 6% in the gender gap. And we do believe that in the next couple of, the next 12 months, that's the next year, we are definitely going to see about a 24% reduction in the gender gap. And over some years' time, we definitely will see a very huge reduction in the gender gap. So that gives us hope that definitely we are getting somewhere. We are very, very, the project has not gone on for long, but we do believe that these are exciting times and very encouraging times for us, especially, and for our female customers.
Thank you so much, Kwaku, for your time today and for giving us an overview of the pilot, the activities conducted, the work so far, and the initial results. As you say, they're very, very promising. What we'll go ahead and do now is give the last word to our clients to round off this session today. So I'm going to share a video. You'll be able to watch it in this presentation, and we'll also include the link to our YouTube channel so you can watch this again.
What has been a challenge for female clients accessing mobile banking is one, socioeconomic problems, and then safety, and then illiteracy has also been a challenge. We have selected some branches who are training the staff, getting them empowered to train our clients on the usage of Sinapi Mobile.
Me pacho mo baka kire me say se me register be boa me metimi dia withdraw me hia sika metimi metifa ko me nko bank metimi dia iska nti o kan se ma mani gye ho na me ka kire se won kire me na me
enkane no se me iska ana discover to account me kwa just me fa ka call fence and so afi Sinapi Mobile nti meti akra meti my bank me banking
dia ma metumi ye ni say first na me discount ko to je se me ja me shop ho but see at the Sinapi Mobile na aboa me o ba na meti o me sorry bio
metumi ni me nua mo mienu akasa ama mo so etumi yes Sinapi Mobile no bi
Me too omo for say Sinapi Mobile no fine. Omo use a ebebo omo fi say. Enti me ye fa me kire ono omo ye fa ye dem fi me kire omo. To omo nyamra me ba be kire omo emu. Me ankasa me hu say me start use Sinapi Mobile me mankasa as sama me. Ye ma me pa.